Okay. Hello. It's me, Fiery Grace the Gifted. Oh, how do you always forget the candle? So, I'm here with a reading for you guys. I asked in the community tab, what is it you were looking to learn more about when it came to your divine masculine? And the main answers were any new awareness that the divine masculine now has, as well as how the divine masculine is feeling towards the divine feminine. I think that it's interesting that as we move into a new month, after a couple of months of really like ground shaking events and things that were definitely going to impact the divine masculine in far different ways than it impacted the feminines, who were a bit more awake and a bit more aware. It's interesting that those were the requests for the information moving forward, for the energies moving forward. And so we have a new month beginning here in May. And so this is going to help us understand a little bit about what has shifted within our divine masculines, as well as how those things in particular have assisted us, or assisted them in understanding us better, and allowing us to have a chance to get to know them in that way a little bit better, a little bit more. So let me. I've already blessed and shuffled. I just need to split these decks and set up our spread. I wanted to open this. So, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night to those of you who are international. I know about 30% of my followers and subscribers are outside of the US, so it might be different times for you guys as well. Let's go. Okay. So that is that, and that was on top. Okay. All right. What we're going to be looking into is the shifts that they are making, as well as how this is impacting them in the 3D. So whenever they have a new awareness, a new awakening, this is going to impact their overall energy. It's that aha moment that shifts your entire perspective and allows you to see things from a new light. So prepare yourself, open yourself up, because I know that a lot of divine feminines struggle to hear messages of their divine masculine actually making a change, actually making a shift. And so your job is not to figure out where your DM is and all of that. Don't do that. Just know that this awareness or awakening, this new shift has either already happened or is in progress, and your job is to look at how that's going to impact you moving forward, not figure out, so does that mean they're going to apologize? Does that mean that they're going to, no, don't get caught up in all that stuff. Okay. Let's focus on where they're at now. So we're going to look at the overall theme first. That will help us understand this entire reading. And then we'll also look at how this overall major shift in energy has impacted them, from a whole, from okay, I can't talk. I'm going to also use this. I'm going to look at the Medicine Woman Tarot book for this information. And I'm doing that because I have a feeling that the overarching energy right now is a massive healing. Mr. Lightwork actually had a really big transformation in the past week. And it's so funny because I try not to keep you guys in the loop of the ebbs and flow of our relationship, because I feel like by the time some of you watch a video, let's say I talk about something a month ago, and then you see it today, you know, that is where your perspective is, oh, you guys are still in this situation today. And then you're commenting on it, you're talking about it. And it's not a smart idea for anybody who is on YouTube or in the spotlight to constantly have people in their relationship. And so it was funny because Mr. Lightwork posted something, and it was so interesting to see his perspective of the situation that occurred this week, where there was basically we had kind of a fight because of something else, some outside influence on our relationship. And it's interesting to see where he still doesn't really understand unconditional love. And I have to make sure that he's aware, like, we're okay. Like, you've got to, you have to understand that just because you finally realize that something you did might have actually hurt me doesn't mean that I'm going to throw everything away. And so you have to realize, you guys, your divine masculines don't think like you. They don't understand love like yours. And it's really important for you to recognize that every time they have a moment, it is healing something. And I think a part of the healing that needed to happen for our dynamic was he had to realize that he could lose me, even if that really wasn't the case, which kind of stinks because I feel bad for him. But then on the other side, I'm like, well, dang, I guess that was the only way for him to realize that he needed to make a change in his own behavior, was to think that he could lose me, even though, you know, it was weird. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, Shakima, how you doing? Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are having a nice day. Good morning and all that. So overall, oh, this is interesting. We've got Ace of Swords energy. Our overall theme of this entire reading is the power of force. Use the force, Luke. This is the divine masculine, first and foremost recognizing that they have far more power than they've ever believed was possible for them. That's a big deal, because a lot of the divine masculines, the reason why they feel so frustrated is because they feel powerless. A lot of the reason why they feel so overwhelmed with life in general is because they think there's nothing that they can do, that even if they tried, it wouldn't be worth anything. So let's get an understanding here. What is it that we don't know, and maybe they haven't even considered, about what's being healed? They don't realize that it's actually their doing. Something they decided to shift or change or grow in is actually what's bringing us forward. So this is important because you need to be aware of this. I need to be able to say to my divine masculine, listen, yes, it could have even been your fault, whatever, however we want to, word things, whatever, bump all that. But the truth is, it was you making the decision or the change or whatever movement or gaining momentum or whatever it is. It was you doing those things that ultimately helped us to move forward and level up. They need to know that. And so do you. Because a lot of readers, all they see is this one-sided, because they're coming from their own personal perspective, that a lot of them are bitter. A lot of them are frustrated. Not all of them. There are a lot of readers who are really peaceful, super zen, but then there are some others, especially the ones who are talking about the things that you might be dealing with on a really deep level, like the karmic situations and all that kind of come in and they trash the divine masculine. And so your natural inclination after listening to so many readings like that is to think, yeah, screw them. They need to come and apologize. They're going to have to beg me, and and it's like, don't do that. And don't look at it like everything is on you because you're the only one doing the work. If you really believe that, you have no idea how the twin flame dynamic works, and you need to get a better handle on your understanding of what the road to union looks like and what a true divine masculine is, because they are your equal. They are your counterpart. Much of what they're doing in their own life when it comes to the mistakes they're making, you may be ignoring in your own life. You may be projecting all of that onto them and missing what you had to do with it. And so sometimes it's easy to kind of write off any changes they've made as, oh, finally my manifestation worked. And it's like, no, it didn't. That's not how that happened. They had their own journey, their own path, and their own growth. And it wasn't always about you. It impacted you. It might have even been meant for you, but it was about them. It was about the change they needed to have in their own life. And so on a grand scale, on a 5D level, all of that, we see a divine masculine who has ultimately been the one to move us forward. We see this kind of rod or staff or wand in their hand. And so this is asserting yourself, communicating clearly, making choices and decisions, facing your conflict head on, moving through with a newfound motivation, a call to action, and saying, not only am I going to make the change for myself, but I'm also going to help impact my divine feminine, as well as whatever our divine spark, our baby could be. Some of you, it's an actual child, right? But for some of you, your baby is a mission, a ministry, a community group, or it's all kinds of things that all of us have. And so the divine masculine finally sees their power to impact the dynamic. They finally see their ability. And I think the divine feminine is going to start to see it as well. It's kind of weird when the divine masculine does things kind of out of character, out of pocket, or what seem to be, even though it's really just them growing into who they truly are. It's weird for the divine feminine because it's like, I thought I was always going to be the one. I thought I was always going to be the one pushing us forward, helping us move and building momentum. I never really acknowledged the effort that you'd made. I never really acknowledged what it was that you were doing on your side of things because I was so wrapped up in what you weren't doing and what I was doing that I never saw your effort. That's a big deal. So we see that's what's happening overall. Healing is occurring because the divine masculine is finally starting to make the moves. Finally, some of them, it's not even finally starting. It's the moves that they've been making for a long time are finally paying off. Some of them, it's that the divine feminine just is finally noticing. But what's happening? How is that impacting them in the 3D? And really, more so, how is that impacting the way that they see their divine feminine in the 3D? What do we need to know about this? Oh, okay. Now, this is dope because what we're seeing is 6 is a number of unconditional love. So we're seeing making choices out of unconditional love. And now we're seeing 6 of Pentacles, which is about the gifts that these divine masculines have of time, effort, money, whatever. But this is also, if you guys have been around long enough, you know that this is the divine masculine's way of showing love. Divine feminine shows love in a very pure way, very natural way, more 6 of Cups. Divine masculine shows love in a way that fits their masculine energy. It's more logical, it's more structured. It's, let me think about this from a logical standpoint and apply the wisdom and understanding that I have in order to make sure that everyone receives what they're meant to. You see, it's methodical. And so what's happening is the divine masculine is starting to weigh and measure their own behaviors. They're starting to get to know who they really are. And what's interesting to me is we're seeing this energy here, and I see 13 total. I see a release that's happening because of this. Because of this newfound understanding, it's a release, I think a release of thinking that your gifts are not enough, right? That no matter how much time, money, energy you spend trying to show your divine feminine that you love her or love him, that, oh, it's never going to matter. That's going away. Believing that you are not going to be the one that gets the spark to help us move forward, that's going away. And ultimately believing you're not the one who has any kind of power, that only your divine feminine has power, that's going away. This is a release. This is a transition. This is a cycle. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see, the death or release or even Wheel of Fortune energy, that completion energy, seeing the number 10. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of these things because the divine masculine, it just changes them. All of a sudden, it's just like, oh. Have you guys ever had those moments? I would love to hear about it, whether it's in the chat or in the comments. If you're watching this not during the live, you're watching this later. I would love to hear from you. Tell me if there's anything that you had an aha moment about. And I ask this actually, I guess I do kind of ask this from time to time, but I'm always curious. I always want to know, is there anything that you learned that really literally changed your whole life? Because sometimes we say, oh, that's life changing, but we're speaking more figuratively, like we're just speaking about that information and it's kind of just relative. But I'm talking about something that it clicked and nothing has ever been the same, because that's kind of where they're at right now. Recognizing their own power, recognizing their ability to help the bond move forward, and recognizing that anything they give, it's not crumbs. It's not, in fact, what I've always talked about with Mr. Lightwork is I understand that his crumbs actually mean a lot because he doesn't really have much love to give. He doesn't really have much, kindness and all those things. When he does those things, even though it might not be what I was looking for in a partner, who just would be all sensitive and just love me and la la la. It's like, but what he does do is a huge deal because I don't think anybody else has ever seen that part of him. And I don't even know if he knows the value of that little crumb he's giving. The truth is, if this was a rock and this was a piece of gold, it looks the same size, right? They're both small, but this gold might be worth, right? If this was a diamond, it might be worth. You see what I'm saying? Like just because something is small or appears to be a crumb does not mean. Do you know how expensive a meal is with gold dust sprinkled on it? Do you know how expensive something is once you put truffle oil on it? So stop looking at things that are small, because if you continue to believe that if it's small, it's not worth anything, your divine masculine might stay in that train of thought as well. And that's not going to help you guys. Look, whatever it is, I'm just telling you now, this new shift in perspective and this new understanding that what they have and starting small and the faith the size of a mustard seed kind of thought process, this is changing them. It's going to change their entire approach to life, but also the dynamic and especially the way that they speak to, engage with, interact with their divine feminine. Period. That's really good news. And I looked at my phone right at, oh my gosh, this is weird. 10, 9, 8, and then 2, 2, 2. Yeah, you guys, this is okay. All right. So now let's look at, we're going to look at their beliefs, a new awareness within their system of beliefs. This does not necessarily always mean religion. It can be, but it doesn't always mean, oh, they're spiritual, or I'm trying to think of the way it could talk about what they believe about themselves. It could talk about what they believe about meaningful work or the way the world works. It doesn't always have to be spiritual, okay? But let's look at this. Let's find out overall energy. Oh, hold on, pause. Hold on. Okay. Stop it. Hold on. I wanted to look this up really quick. 6 of Stones. Restore balance to your accounts. Interesting how we talk about the divine masculine's way of showing love, gifts, time, money, effort, resources, and they're being called, led, internally driven to restore balance to this dynamic. That's really exciting. Hold on, let's keep going. 6 of Swords. End struggle, seek higher mind. The way that you're going to get away from this struggle life you've been living, divine masculine, is to go with your divine feminine, to go with the baby, and just move forward into a higher level thinking. That's why you don't leave all the swords behind. You take some with you. And then Ace of Swords, the will to do. Wow, this is insane. Okay, crap. I'm freaking out because the freaking release is here. And so we see already this overall, okay, I think that what this might even be saying is this shift in the divine masculine's confidence and ability to push forward, to use their own power, is what has allowed their beliefs to shift as well and release things. It's almost as if we need to remember that everything happens in the right progression. Like there's a step-by-step process in certain things. Certain things can kind of have a little explosion here, explosion there, and everything's just shifting all at once. But certain things have to go through their process. And so I think this is inviting us in to say, okay, divine masculine, I believe in you. I trust you. I may not always trust your 3D vessel and your ego working together and not having that divine intervention. I may not always trust that, but I do trust my true divine masculine, because if I didn't, that means I don't trust myself. So I trust you to move forward and be who you're supposed to be. But let's focus here, guys. Focus. In terms of their beliefs, in terms of their the way that they've been living, in terms of the way they see the world, we're seeing the end of a phase or a situation. There is spiritual transformation happening, and they're fully aware that it's time to move on. I don't think this is an accident. Time to move on, time to move on. We can see it. What's back here? Five of Cups. Okay, now y'all, freak out with me real quick. Oh my gosh. Okay. Any of you who've been around long enough know when I see the Five of Cups, we see the guy wearing the black cloak. What do I call it? The cloak of death. The fact that the Five of Cups shows up with the release or the death card just goes to show that the divine masculine is already en route. They are already on the path. They are already making their way in the right direction. And the truth is, the way that they've been seeing life has been their problem. This card, it says, not seeing the positive in a situation. If we were to read from the book, which I kind of feel like I should, if we were going to read from the book, I believe it says something along the lines of seeing the silver lining in the clouds, seeing that there's still something good, or that maybe this was supposed to be good all along and it was just our perception of the situation. There is something that is spilled out. I do believe that there is a karmic issue. Again, if you're on my channel, you know I don't talk about karmics the way other people do. First and foremost, most twin flames are interacting with other twin flames. And so just because you see that other person as a karmic in your situation, what you don't realize is you may very well be cursing someone in your own collective. Because what are the odds that your divine masculine would just be drawn to some demon devil person? Most likely that person is also a twin flame. And it happens all the time in my ministry. So I don't talk about karmics. I don't even I hate the fact that that's what we say. Oh, that's just a karmic. We automatically limit them in their capacity to be the thing that's going to help our divine counterpart grow because we don't like them. We don't want them around. We feel like they're stopping us from getting what we want, not realizing that they're actually probably a great blessing in our lives by being the thing that triggers our divine counterpart to grow. But you know what? That's another story. Okay. So seeing this Five of Cups, it's like, I see that the karmic situation is done. I believe that that is the end of the phase or situation. To me, and oh man, it's kind of crazy because I just realized if we are talking about an actual person and the situation between two people, this could be a sign that those people who were stuck in quarantine together, that was the last straw. Do you know how many people have filed for divorce or made sure that they could get divorced even though they were quarantined? A lot. There's been a spike because some people already knew they couldn't deal with each other, but they were able to get through it and just kind of be roommates and hang out because, they were able to go to work and still do their thing. And now having to be together, it's like, I can't do this, right? There's so many situations that just from being forced together, things are kind of exploding or imploding and combusting, okay? And so already I can see right there, that could be a cause of some of this. But this is also, remember, again, if you're on my channel, you know karmics don't always just refer to people. Mr. Divine Master Lightwork, Mr. Lightwork's car was his karmic for a long time, okay? Some people have karmic jobs. Some people have karmic again, I hate to say this because I know it's a sensitive way to perceive this, but karmic children, meaning you need to deal with your child and however it is that they've become or grown into or whatever. And this thing that's meant to be really a blessing to you and help you grow, you see it as such a negative because you cannot get a hold of their behaviors or you cannot get a hold of whatever connection issue is as a problem. There are all kinds of things that can be your karmic. And if you chop it up to, oh, that's just if it's another woman or another man, right? That's what a karmic is. No. You are putting a label on a person when you're actually supposed to be assessing the energy, not the individual. So you need to figure out what it is that you think is your divine counterpart's karmic. Put a little bit of respect on that name. And again, I'm looking down right now and I'm seeing my DM's karmic is a distorted divine feminine. No, she's not. No, he's not. I'm sorry. I just can't agree with that. And I think that, again, you want so badly to condemn that person for whatever it is that you think they're doing to keep your counterpart away from you, that you don't realize that you probably are just as distorted as they are. You probably are, all of us can look at someone and have a problem with them for whatever reason and not even realize that having that problem right there, speaking in that place of judgment right there, is what shows you're no different than them. And forgive me for being direct like that, but I just need you to understand that having the ability to judge others doesn't mean that you have to. And so before you assume that that person, place, or thing is the only problem, realize that it's probably not even a problem. It's probably meant to be a seed planted to help something grow, help something shift, help something change. You can look at any other person in your life and say they must be the worst of the worst. They're just terrible. They're just evil. They're just bad. Not realizing that you're not having enough love in your heart in that moment to look at them and say, I'm sorry, because you're not at peace. You're not okay. You must feel bad about something to have you lash out that way. What I like people to do is look at, and I remember I said this once, and some fool, and I have no problem saying that. I know I'm not supposed to judge, but it was a very foolish thing to say back, knowing that it would put doubt into people's mind about the point I was making. My point was, if your divine counterpart was your child, if that karmic was your child, think about how you would defend them to their teacher or to your friends or to their family members. You see, we have a way of writing off the people that we love and saying, no, you don't understand. I know them. And immediately allowing the same exact behaviors in another person to become it. Oh, they're bad. They're hateful. They're evil. And it's like, wait a minute now. What if you loved that person? So just take a second and think about that before you assess a situation and look at energy and then apply it to a person, because normally you're misconstruing things. And you have to admit, if there is a karmic situation, like let's say there's a husband or a wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever is going on, you've got to realize that they probably don't like you either if you're trying to take their thing away. So there's so much more involved in it than I think some readers give credit to. And we really have to be aware, as these awakened beings that we are, of how we approach things. My point is, when I said the whole thing about approaching that person like they're your child, is someone said, that's incest. How could you say that about the divine masculine? I'm like, if you don't get off my channel, I'm not asking you to have incestual thoughts about your divine counterpart. Oh my goodness. All right. So, boom, you're hidden. All right, cool. So, when I see this, I see a divine masculine who finally sees the karmic situation or person, place, or thing, whatever you want to call it, for what it really is. They look at the person, they look at the place, they look at the thing, and they go, oh my gosh. Now I'm hoping that there's some awareness on their part that it's getting like better. You know what I mean? Like it's that they're not just looking at it and going, you're bad. I hope that they look at it and they realize in that moment, okay, this was there to teach me something. It stinks that I just now noticed how powerful this negative thing was in my life, but I see it. I see why it was there. I think that that's a really important part of an awakening journey, is to be able to address that, to be able to look at the situation and say, okay, you hurt me for a reason. And it wasn't because you wanted to, it was because I needed to be hurt in order to change. You had me caught up in a life I really didn't want to live for a reason. That's still on me, but the way that you brought me into it was so that I would go through the motions and go down this path to learn what I needed to learn. I do hope that the divine masculines have that awareness, but some of them have yet to turn around and see what remains. And that's the part of this card that a lot of people forget. The silver lining in the Five of Cups card is what? When we're looking, facing the direction of the pain and the trauma, and we're staring at it, all we see is that we've got 3 cups spilled. But the moment we turn around, the moment we take off that cloak of heaviness and death and release, what do we see right behind us? 2 cups. 2 cups. You see, there's still love, there's still hope, there's still joy, there's still something special. And if you don't turn around, if you don't allow the release to occur so that you can move into the next phase, you're never going to notice those 2 cups. In fact, you might trip over them and knock them over. And so the silver lining is looking for the positive, looking for the truth, looking for the hope, looking for the opportunity, understanding that there's nothing that can be done about what was, but there is something that can be done with and for what is to come, what is present. This divine masculine is about to have a really deep awakening moment. Hold on. Let me see this. Let's look really quick at the the release. So for the release card, Knight of Pentacles, it's time to buckle down. Now this is dope because it's like, once you let go of whatever needs to be let go of, underneath is this understanding that it's time to honor your commitments, which is exactly what the 2 cups stand for in this card. That's dope. That's really dope. Focus, Grace. So this card represents inevitable positive changes, facing your fears, relationship transitions, and spiritual evolution. You understand? Now look, here we see the same thing happening here. Positive changes, relationship transitions, great, cool. But this is about what they actually believe. You see, they now believe that it's important for them to grow, that it's important for them to move forward, that every situation that happens in their life is meant to empower them, not to tear them apart. Let's read this really quick. Silver lining, 5 of Cups. So when it comes to what they believe, there are new awarenesses that though things did not turn out the way they expected, as long as they don't focus too much on the negative and find the positive, that the silver lining will be revealed. They can't keep fighting and ignoring change. It doesn't serve them. It doesn't help. Instead, they have this newfound faith that everything really does happen for a reason. See, sometimes people don't like to hear everything happens for a reason at the wrong time. But everybody knows it's true. We all know it's accurate. We just don't like when people say it to us when we don't want to hear it. And this divine masculine is having those moments. It says it's healthy to grieve what has been lost and take time to heal. And again, that's where we're at right now. That's what all this healing is about, this overarching healing that's occurring. Reach out to friends, family, and wise counselors for support and comfort. I will tell you, I see communication occurring because the Ace of Swords was the first thing we had. And the fact that we see what that sword energy is about with the divine feminine and the divine masculine's way of showing love to the divine feminine, I do see communication occurring. I see that we even have people in the comments saying, or in the chat saying, yeah, my DM showed up unexpectedly, and it's been happening all month long. As they keep healing and releasing this old way of understanding life and starting to realize that there's more to it than that, there's more positive for them than that, now it's like, oh, let me reach out to this person who I just realized I really can trust. I shouldn't be pushing them away, that I shouldn't be ignoring them, that I shouldn't be so angry with them. Half of this stuff that I'm mad about isn't even their fault. Divine feminines are very good scapegoats for the divine masculines. Part of the argument Mr. Lightwork and I had the other day, he actually said to me in his anger that I was the reason why he didn't have his son. Now, mind you, I've only known him for a couple years. And so that's off rip. No, not accurate. But also, literally everything that I talk to him about when it comes to his son is getting the lawyer, getting the money right so that he can get the lawyer, getting his finances and himself in order, getting himself to be a place where he doesn't basically treat his son just how his father treated him. Like everything I do in making him, quote, a better man is for his son. And so it's very easy to throw all that aside and kind of forget those things when you're angry. But these divine masculines are starting to realize, I think it's like the veil has been torn and they have to look at them in the mirror now. And they have to really see what's true and what's real rather than looking for someone to blame, because a lot of them are upset. A lot of them are angry. And when you have someone who you know isn't going anywhere, you can lash out, you can be angry, you can be mean, you can do all of these things without fear that you're going to push them away that one last time. And so be aware of this, that yeah, they might be reaching out, but because they're still going through their healing process, some of them are still learning how to, how do I say this? How to accept their own part in the situation, as well as understand that there are certain things they simply cannot control. See, a part of the anger that they have is believing that it's all their fault, but then also believing that everything in their world basically made it their fault. Once you release that sense of powerlessness, You don't think that way anymore. So there is a shift coming. Hold on, let me finish this. Sadness, the end of a relationship, wishing you could change the past, obsession, and crying over spilled milk. So these things are being released. The sadness of their just generally in their life going away because they're realizing I cannot continue to be sad. It's not helping me. The end of a relationship, again, I do get the sense that there are some karmic situations, person, place, or thing that are ending, that are no longer required, that the growth has been completed or that level has been finished or accomplished, and now they can move forward. Wishing you could change the past. I will say that I get the sense that they're always going to wish they could change the past, but it's shifting now. See, in the past, they wish they could change the past because they were mad and they didn't like where they were. Now, I think they wish they could change the past because they want to take back some of their behaviors. They want to take back some of their pain. They want to take back some of the things that they've done to their divine counterpart. So, I mean, keep that in mind that sometimes, no matter how much change happens, no matter how much growth happens, they still are going to have a little bit of trouble forgiving themselves until they reach a certain level, being able to look in the mirror and say, it is what it is, it was what it was, and now every day you can work to do better. You don't have to feel bad about yesterday. But that's where I'm saying, divine feminines, do not add to that. Do not make them feel worse. Don't do these things because they already feel bad enough, whether you think they do or not. Some of them will get in front of you straight to your face and lie and say, I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about, because they're so used to when they get, their back against the wall and get confronted, they're used to just saying whatever they need to say. Carrie Ann, honey, this is not a super chat. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can get a refund, but otherwise I will have to take that as a donation. This is a public collective reading. So understand that these divine masculines are going to display their frustration sometimes in a way that they always have. They've always lashed out when they feel that their back's against the wall. They've always been frustrated or angry or sad or whatever and felt like they needed to tell the world. One of Mr. Lightwork's favorite things to do, I shouldn't say favorite, it was just a habitual thing, but one of his favorite things to do in the past is he loved to make sure that people knew how mad he was. And most of the time, the people who were making him mad that he wanted to know didn't even notice him, didn't even know he was mad. It's like the person who screams at the people on the road when they're driving and they've got the road rage, but the person in front of them doesn't even notice. They're listening to their music, jamming and dancing, It's like that. And then that frustrates him even more because they have nowhere to get their anger out, nowhere to get the frustration out. Hence why they keep lashing out at the divine feminine. So be aware of that. Be aware that yes, they're letting go of a lot of the pain, letting go of the way that they've been approaching life for so long. They're going to start seeing the positive, but that doesn't mean that suddenly they're going to forget what they did to you. That doesn't mean that suddenly they're going to just be able to accept when someone does something to them. They still are going to struggle through these things. But it's really, really special to see that at least they're acknowledging that all of these things had to happen for a reason, and that now it's time to move forward with a new way of being, a new way of living, a new way of understanding. So how is this massive shift, releasing sadness, releasing this obsession with following this certain path that they laid out for themselves, almost, I'm going to say, out of either revenge or out of kind of that self-sabotaging proof, like, again, some divine masculines might have been abused by their father or their parents or family figure, whatever you want to call it. And they basically say, fine, you know what? I'm going to prove to you that what you did to me ruined my life by living the life that you set for me. And a lot of divine masculines are finally releasing that and saying, it's time for me to go my own way, to believe in myself, to stop worrying so much about the pain I've endured. So how is this impacting? Actually, I'm going to read from the book for this, actually. Okay. Oh, okay. We're seeing a lot of communication, a lot of new information. Hold on. Let's read Eight of Wands. That's actually kind of exciting. Okay, hold on. 6, 7, 8. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, ready? So The way that this new level of understanding is helping them, and underneath it all, they're going to honor their commitments. They're going to really buckle down. They're going to start to see the divine feminine as a, um, hmm, as a, what would we call that? I don't know. It's like, yeah, it is a guardian angel. It's like seeing the divine feminine for what he or she really is in your life rather than what you have put them in a box to be. So, what does this Eight of Wands say? Hold on tight because things now move into high gear. Divine feminine, are you listening to this? Past delays are over. Your plans manifest with swiftness and energy. You may feel caught off guard as frenzied energies take over. It's exhilarating and a little overwhelming, but it feels good to see your dreams coming true. Suddenly, you have a lot of things going on. Too many balls in the air? Stay grounded. Your messages are received positively right now. Again, we're talking about positive messages. Embrace the spotlight. Receiving needed information, inspiration, sudden travel, an unexpected level of success. I see that the moment this, now, you know what's funny? The Five of Cups is a card where we see someone traveling. But why are we seeing it say sudden travel? Because in the middle of the journey, you got stopped, which totally is what's happened for the past few months anyways. So that's not even that surprising. So it wouldn't be that crazy to see in the 3D a shift and a movement where all of a sudden the divine masculine is able to get back to doing things. Okay, that makes sense. We know a lot of things are reopening and all that. But in terms of the actual shift that's happening here, remember, they were on the journey and then they got stopped up by losing something that they didn't expect to lose. They got stopped up by being in a situation that I don't know, it just shook them. It just made them realize there was a fragility, right? There was a, Mr. Lightwork says that everything has a shelf life. And they realize that if the right things are not put into it to make it endure and make it long lasting, then yes, it does have a shelf life and things have to end. And so it's interesting because this person was already on a journey that got halted. And then it says unexpected travel, as if they really believed that when that thing ended, that so did life. It's sad, but it's also beautiful because it says, oh, I see. I misunderstood that stopping point, that halt. I thought it was over, but it was just a detour or a checkpoint, a milestone that we needed to stop and acknowledge. And this is amazing. Receiving needed information. I think this is about both counterparts. I think that they're receiving information about the divine feminine's real motives in life, the truth behind why the divine feminine lives how she lives or how he lives for this person. Oh, this is exciting. All right, I got to keep going because this is already really long. Okay. So next thing we're going to look at is the new awareness or awakening in their cycle, like where they're, which this is kind of weird. I didn't intend to do this, but this is creepy. Okay, sorry, this is just weird because it's like their reading is literally flowing into itself, and it shouldn't be because these were all meant to be their own little messages. I'm almost nervous. Okay, come on, let's find out. So what is this cycle? What do we need to know about it? Abundance. They have a new understanding of what abundance really means and the abundance that's available to them. Wow. You know what's funny? I just saw the temperance where the angel is pouring between the two cups. And it's like once you turn around, you are carrying way too much weight. And once you turn around and once you shift your perspective, you realize that you can do more with less. Less baggage, less drama, less nonsense allows you to do more things in love. And so I see those two cups as this infinite pouring back and forth that we see in the temperance or the balance card, talking about the fact that behind the scenes there's a greater power that basically has this infinite abundance planned out and laid out for us. So let's find out. What is the shift? What is happening? Oh, oh my God. This is so freaky. Okay. Let's read one. New beginnings. This card indicates a time of new beginnings where there will be plenty of opportunities to create a fresh start. Oh, geez. These opportunities play a very important part in catapulting you to where you need to be. Again, these sudden changes, this massive shift. Whew, so it's in your best interest to follow them wherever they may lead. By drawing this card, you're being encouraged to find the inner strength and courage to step into the unknown, to feel the fear and do it anyways and create a brand new life. Oh my gosh. New opportunities may present themselves in the area of relationships, home, or career. There might be a chance to move, study, or travel. Again, travel, travel, travel. I don't know what exactly that means because we're talking in the sense of a 5D traveling, which to me means catching up to where the divine feminine is in the 5D very quickly. But this could literally also be talking about physical travel for how much it's coming up. All right, focus. There might be a chance to move, study, or travel, or embark on an exciting new endeavor. Regardless, you must pay attention to the signs and seize the moment when it arises. Okay, they're getting signs, and because they've shifted their beliefs, the signs that they get are actually going to make sense to them and click for them. This is incredible, dude. This is incredible. I'm like freaking out. Okay, when you're open to new beginnings, the universe will send you the next logical step to take. What did I just say? It's step by step by step, you guys. Man, I'm freaking out. Okay, in order to improve your current situation, you're being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life, cycles that are leading you towards an exciting new beginning. So be optimistic and ambitious and move with the changing tides. What did I just freaking say? I guess I didn't say the wave part, but when I did that, I talk about the waves in twin flames. Yeah, never mind. It's too much explaining. Embrace the mystery and the unknown, and you will make your dreams come true. The affirmation is, I embrace new beginnings and make my dreams come true. Let's say that together. I embrace new beginnings and make my dreams come true. I embrace new beginnings and make my dreams come true. I embrace new beginnings and make my dreams come true. Because as so the divine feminine believes, the divine masculine does as well. Okay, so let's find out. I'm actually, if this number is in this book, I might see if there's anything to read about that. So now that there is a new understanding of abundance, as well as an appreciation of the new beginning that's being offered. Because I think the reason why the divine masculine in the past avoided beginnings and new opportunities was because they did not see that there would be abundance with it. They kind of felt like they would just have to leave behind everything else they've already worked for. And then when you're working against the grain and you're grinding it out like that, you know, you don't really see abundance. You just see lack. You see that you've had to itch and scratch and claw and dig for every little crumb you get. Where now, it's another reason why they give crumbs. Because they have they tend as the provider protector energy to see lack. Divine feminine sees nurture. If I nurture this plant, it will produce more fruit. Divine masculine see, okay, how many seeds am I going to have to buy in order to provide the seeds for my divine feminine to plant? And you see the different perspectives. Nothing wrong with it. It's normal. But now that they're allowing the abundant energy into their psyche, into their understanding, now we're also seeing divine masculine seeing the new beginning as a beautiful thing and embracing it and approaching it from that perspective. So what is this about? 3 of Pentacles. Now this is, okay. This is deep. This is Grace. 3 of Pentacles talks about the rookie. The 3 of Pentacles is the rookie of the year, it's also a card of partnership. It's also a card of teamwork. So it's a beautiful twin flame card. And it often talks about a divine masculine who is fully unaware of how powerful they are. Why do I say that? Well, when you look at the picture of in the Rider-Waite of the 3 of Pentacles, the guy that's in there, he's got 2 people who are approaching. And if you look in the picture, they are holding a little scroll. And the scroll they're holding has the picture of the architecture that's in the Rider-Waite card on that scroll. And they're coming to him and they're saying, listen, how did you know how to do this? You either invented some new way of architecture that we've never seen before, even though you're a rookie, or you fulfilled the architectural requirements to create something that most people would have to be super advanced in order to achieve. So they're coming to this person and saying, this is amazing what you're doing. what you're offering is incredible. And how did you do it? And the rookie's looking at them going, I don't know, I just did it. The reason why that's such a big deal in the divine twin flame dynamic is because the divine feminine typically has a longer period of awakening and awareness and all of that, where they know over time, slow and methodical, here's what's happening. The divine masculine's 3D stuff is usually going to be that methodical, focused logic, but their 5D shifts are just these explosions of energy. That's where we can, be on our journey for years. Our divine masculine shows up and has one major shift in a realignment in their life. And all of a sudden they've gone from 4 of Pentacles to the Emperor like that. And we're like, some of us get frustrated, like, all these years I had to go through all that stuff, and you get to have your awakening and have all this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding like that. And sometimes we can get jealous, we can get frustrated, we can be disbelieving, like, what are you regurgitating? Do I really believe you? So there's a lot that goes there. But seeing this to me says 2 things. Number 1, in this new beginning, this divine masculine is about to come in and have so much knowledge, so much wisdom, so much understanding, that is explaining why they're going to have this kind of, what it even said, catapulting, I think here, or something like that. And then on the other side, it's going to be this really, really beautiful opportunity for the counterparts to come together, where the divine feminine can come in and say, you can help me more than you think. You can be a greater part of this than you actually believe. You have always thought that you were this kind of low-level person and that you needed to get up here to my level before you ever were able to do what I do. But now you're understanding that, it doesn't work like that. And all you needed to do was flip the switch in your mind that told you were good enough. And now here you are on my same level. So this is a sign of 2 things. 1, the divine masculine finally stepping into the beginning of a long, prosperous road towards becoming the King of Pentacles, but ultimately the Emperor. And also the divine counterparts experiencing a new level of teamwork and creativity together because the divine masculine has finally had this awakening and opening up. Dude, this is crazy. I just want to make sure everybody understands. Okay. What's funny is I actually had shuffled and prepared a completely different deck for this positioning, and I changed it at the last minute because it was like, nope, this is what you need to bring in. They need to understand that the divine masculines, of all the things they didn't believe, they barely believed their beliefs. They barely understood how cycles worked, but they definitely did not believe in miracles. They would say that'd be a miracle with sarcasm, but they never approached things and said a miracle is possible for me. Miracles happen if I just believe in it. Now they do. Let's understand a little bit about why. What is it that happened that made them see this? Okay, so we've got release and we've got release. I release my need to be perfect, boom, and center into my commitment. What did we say here? Okay, the 2 of Cups represented, as well as this, honor your commitments. Again, it's coming back to their beliefs for some reason. To serve the world more love. Serving the world more love. This is insane. I'm telling you, I don't know what's happening, right? Look, every time I do a reading now, I'm like freaking out the whole time. I don't know what happened, but I'm pretty sure that since the time I started my ministry back in 2018 to now, that what people have been saying about the more twins coming into awareness, more divine masculine stepping into their purpose, it's not a lie. It's serious. That's why the energy is so powerful now. It's like, I think readings would be like this every so often, but this is getting ridiculous, okay? It's getting crazy. All right, but what is it that we need to understand about this new belief in miracles? How is this going to help them move forward? Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm freaking out. This is so weird. I let my intimate relationships be my greatest learning devices for spiritual growth and healing. So crazy. Okay. So So I no longer feel like I have to be perfect in order to get into a relationship, because that is what most of them think. And most of them, their idea of perfection is directly related to the amount of money they have, or how much money they can provide, or how much, what would you call that, stability they could provide. It's all related to pentacles for probably 90% or more of my subscribers, clients, viewers. They release that now. They realize that if they keep trying to go that direction, grind it out, do the same old thing without any love, without any truth, without any real depth, that they're going to keep being miserable, right? Because that is coming from a place of lack, not abundance. Now they're opening themselves up to new beginnings, new purpose with their divine counterpart. And then they're allowing their intimate relationships to no longer be a thing that makes them feel bad. It no longer makes them feel inadequate. Instead, every chance they get, they're going to use their relationship with their divine counterpart as an opportunity to figure out where they need to grow. This is a big deal. And healing. They're finally going to allow us to help them heal. Finally. That must be why we see the healing occurring here with the divine feminine in tow. They're saying, fine, let's go take me to another place, take me to another land. Let me understand your plan. I want to see your side of this. I want to see how you approach life and see if this is really possible for me as well. So how is this impacting the divine feminine, or how they feel about the divine feminine? Wow. First and foremost, they feel bad for how much time you've had to spend alone in this. You see all these pentacles, right? I'm just saying. They feel bad for how much of the time you have had to be cultivating on your own. I mean, it's no accident that we have this here with the Nine of Cups underneath. It's no accident that we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Remember, we see the 6, we see the 3. I'm telling you, they are on their way to stepping into their King of Pentacles. And they thought they were going to have to run towards that one path they saw for being the King of Pentacles, not realizing that it was actually allowing abundance in that was going to help shift that. This is insane. This reading is blowing my mind right now, y'all. Oh, man. This is wild. So I let my intimate relationships be my greatest learning devices for growth and healing. And instead of looking at my divine feminine, who is out here living this abundant life, doing what they need to do, instead, I see my divine feminine as someone who can teach me how to cultivate, teach me how to be powerful, teach me how to be loving. And I see them as someone who isn't just a busybody, always trying to grow and do things different and blah, blah, blah. No, I don't see that. I see this as a person who says, I believe in you. You can do this too. I can show you. I can help you. I can be there. This is the divine feminine. This is the Queen of Pentacles in her garden, or the Princess of Pentacles, whatever you want to call it. But this is someone who, if you want to be a King of Pentacles, this is your ideal. If you want to be a queen, a powerful queen, this is your ideal. If you want to be a powerful king, this is the person that you want to align yourself with. This is just it. And so to have this showing up here, I don't know. It just makes me feel like, I don't know. It makes me feel like they appreciate us finally. That we are their miracle. Remember, that's the positioning of this. Miracles now. This is wild. Hold on a second, you guys. Let me deal with this person who seems to have problems. All right. There we go. So rude. So, yeah. I like this. I don't know. There's something really beautiful about someone who looks at you for who you are, who sees you in your life, cultivating, growing, being powerful, being beautiful, being amazing, being just, and then finally saying, oh, I shouldn't be hating on you. I should be loving you for it. I shouldn't be hating on you. I should be asking you how you do it. I shouldn't be mad at you for growing things in your garden that are designed to, like kind of thinking like a white witch, like white magic kind of thing, where they use a lot of natural herbs or whatever, ley lines, whatever you want to call it. It's like, I shouldn't look at you as, I don't know, some sort of otherworldly being. Like, you're my counterpart, you're my person. And if you can do it, so can I. Not to limit you, but to just realize that I'm also powerful. There's something happening inside of them, you guys. It's incredible. It really is. All right. So the final message is, all of this has happened, right? In fact, you can even see the colors. You see the pink and the orange and the pink and the orange. You can see everything just continues to flow. Everything is helping us understand this natural progression. So looking at their 3D, what has happened overall? It's the Six of Cups. You guys, they're finally willing to accept it. They're finally willing to see it for what it is. They're finally willing to open up their heart and let love in. They're finally there. They're at a place that says, I no longer have to be afraid of love. All these sixes, all this unconditional love, all these nines, eights, nines, tens, letting us know we're at the end of a cycle. Their 3D is open. Their 3D is ready. Their 3D wants the love. Their 3D had to learn from what you called a karmic. Those karmics are going to be the greatest blessing of your relationship. I'm dead serious. Let me tell you a story. You guys get to know my story time. It happens. I'm a storyteller. I'm not a tarot reader. So if you're here for tarot reading, get your information and go on and get. That way you don't get mad at me for doing what I'm supposed to do. When I got with Mr. Lightwork, oh, what up? Yeah, you right on time for story time. When I first got with Mr. Lightwork, he was seeing other women. And for the first time in my life, we weren't together. I just told him, look, I'm fully aware that you're with other chicks. I always have been. And I don't care at this point, because either I want you out of my life, which you refuse to do. He would damn near stalk me to be around me and to be with me. I was like, since you refuse to be out of my life, well, then I'm going to try it your way. Let's try it your way. You can be with all these other women, whatever. But the only caveat, the one thing, is you have to be 100% honest with me. It was the dumbest thing I ever did, by the way. I should never have asked for that, but I did. And so one day, some of you have heard this story, but a lot of people are new, and I don't tell this story very often, y'all. I'm a Sagittarius rising, Dawn. So I said to Mr. Lightwork, tell me about these women. And so Mr. Lightwork, while providing me with, oh my gosh, I feel like this is so inappropriate and I don't want to offend people, but I have to tell you the truth. The way that we did it was, because he even asked me, how are we going to make sure that you don't get mad at me for whatever I tell you? And I was like, well, just make sure you're doing it with your face between my, down. Okay. All right, cool. So down there, Mr. Lightwork's down there telling me this story. Okay. So Mr. Lightwork is telling me, and I'm asking him about each of the women that he's with. I said, so I want you to put them in order. I want you to tell me, who's number one? Like, because I wasn't on the list, right? These girls all thought they had a chance with being with him, even though he had no real interest in them other than physical, whatever. And he'd even told them that, one of the main ones who was really upset that I existed and felt like she had never been given a chance, did not know that he had told her several times, I don't want to be with you, but I'm cool with making you feel good. And she had said she was okay with that many times. So I made him go through the list and I said, tell me put them in order, and then tell me what you like about them. Tell me what you don't like about them. Tell me one way that they're better than me, and tell me the way that, I think I said, like, tell me the way that I'm better than, like, the main thing that makes me different from them or something like that. And so he went through, but what ended up happening is every single one of them that he was supposed to say something that they were better than me in, he couldn't. And whenever it came down to how I was better than them, it was in every possible way. There was no comparison. And basically what I accidentally did was I reverse psychologied him. I made him realize that none of these women were worth his time by allowing him to talk about them. And so one of the funniest parts about the karmic situation, the whole reason why I'm telling you this story, I tried to keep it short, is that the main girl, the one I just said, who was really upset that she told him she felt like she never got a chance, all this stuff. The main girl, one of the things that was most important to him was what? They had a sexual relationship, right? Well, he realized that she makes really ugly faces while they were doing it, and he hated it. He hated looking at her because she would make these ugly faces that grossed him out. And it was him telling me these things about these women that he didn't like about them that made him not be able to. So I think he did sleep with her one more time after that. And I don't think he could ever sleep with her again. He ended up leaving his glasses at her house and never going back to retrieve them because he was so grossed out. So all I'm trying to say to you, no, it was not her baby mama. It was not his baby mama. He hasn't been with his baby mama since they broke up years ago. And he's basically hated her for telling him that the first time he tried to break up with her before they had a child together, she told him if he left, she would kill herself. And he was afraid that if he left that night, being the last person she was with, being a black man, they would think it was him that killed her. So he didn't leave. So they ended up staying together, got pregnant. And then when he left again and finally said, I can't be with you, we're just not compatible, she said, I'm going to ruin your life for leaving me. And she's been doing it ever since. So there's no, I don't have to ever worry about the baby mama because she destroyed him so badly. I don't think there was ever any coming back for that, for them to have a dynamic. I wouldn't worry about it anyways, because again, I know who I am, and I know who I am, especially for him. But no, it was not the baby mama, but it was a chick who, again, she was just some girl. She was like 10 years younger than him. You know, she kind of tried to pretend she was okay with not being his girlfriend, but then acted like his girlfriend. And in the end, it turned out that having that openness and that conversation with him and really allowing him to go through his karmic situations was what ultimately led to us having a monogamous relationship in the end. I'm sorry, y'all. I know that some of you did not sign up for that story, and I apologize if I offended you. Please know that I'm actually a sex therapist, and I am Mr. Lightwork and I, a part of our twin flame dynamic. The whole sex experience between twins is like a really big deal. But I think we would have experienced that even if we weren't twins or didn't know we were twins, just because of how we are both when it comes to intimacy. So just throwing that out there, you may hear me talk about stuff like that from time to time. If that's not your thing, just either click off or just don't subscribe. It might not be for you, but everybody else, I'm real open, okay, about the things that I believe are important. And that's where I say, do not get upset with a karmic situation, a karmic person, if that's what you believe them to be. Don't worry about it. They're doing their job. They're being who they need to be. And again, if they're aligned with a twin flame, they most likely are a twin flame themselves. And guess what? If they're a karmic, you're a karmic, your divine masculine's a karmic, according to your own label, that would make you one too. So just be cautious, okay? I know people get mad when I say that. I'm not a karmic. Well, wait a minute. Why are you so mean about karmics that you wouldn't want to be called one? Aren't you supposed to be bringing the light? Oh, drop the mic, Grace. Drop the mic. So anyways, the divine masculine is finally ready, finally open, finally aware that love is a beautiful thing, that love is worth it, that love is powerful. And see, over here, the first shift that happened in order to allow all this kind of trickle down ripple effect things to occur, the first thing that happened is they understood that their way of showing love, it was safe for them. It was real for them. It was okay. But then by the time they got down here and all of this stuff made a real impact on their 3D, not just their 5D internal stuff, they couldn't do it anymore. They couldn't pretend that love wasn't important, that love wasn't valuable, that love wasn't real, that the pure love that their divine feminine offered was far more valuable than anything they ever thought possible. But let's find out, what does this mean though? Because this is the overarching. What is it that we need to know about this? Wow. Again, some of y'all want to act like these readings aren't crazy, but that's not crazy to you. You know what I'm saying? This isn't wild to you that the Queen of Cups shows up with the Six of Cups. I mean, I'm just saying the way that this has changed them is now all of a sudden they see you for who you are. They remember that the whole reason why you even love them is because they gave you the love to give. They did something, offered something of themselves that they've never offered anyone else. One of the things that Mr. Lightwork used to do to all his exes is he would dip out on them in the middle of the night. That was his way of breaking up with people, is to run away. And Mr. Lightwork, I could not see him doing that to me because Mr. Lightwork couldn't even get away from me when I told him to leave me alone. Like when I rejected him and said, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be around you because I have certain standards and certain things that I want from people. He still stalked me, made up fake phone numbers, everything. He did everything. Mr. Lightwork did things with me he's never been able to do, never given to anyone else. And even though he might forget about it, in those moments where he actually thinks back, he can't deny it. He can't deny, like, dang, I've never done that. What made me try that? Why was I like that? You know, and so I want you to understand that there are people who they're going to come in contact with and they're just going to have those moments where things shift or change. They learn something. And then there are people like your divine counterpart, your true twin, even a really, really solid soulmate that you're going to offer something up, which is really the cup of love, the depth of who you are. And when they realize that they gave them something they've never given anyone else, they realize there's a reason for it and it's time to go back. So let's find out, how does this impact the way they feel about the DF? I mean, obviously I feel like seeing the Six of Cups and the Queen of Cups probably already gives us our answer. But let's find out, what is it that Mr. Lightwork, what is it that your divine counterpart now believes or now sees you differently because they recognize, oh yeah, I've loved this person since I met them. I gave them things and told them things and shared things and even shared energy, time, space, whatever with them that I never would have given to other people. They're special. How does this change how they feel about you? Wow, it's time to make the offer. Knight of Cups. You see all these cups? You see all these pentacles? We got one wand here. This is us ready to move forward because our beliefs have changed. I'm sorry, but everything on this table is wild. Everything on this table is wild to me. They believe that it's time to come in. They believe it's time to share. They believe it's time to make the offer. Now, again, people get mad. Why? Because they watch a reading. It's like some of you guys watch every single reading I put out or every single reading from whatever readers you like, and you expect every single one to be for you. But you have to remember, you are not ordering personal readings. You are watching general collective readings. If they resonate, they resonate. But you have to have enough discernment to know that not every because this is how I know that some of you guys are really missing that. Because some of my readings in the very beginning, I'll say, this is for people in separation. This is for people in union. This is for people, you know, no communication, no contact. This is for people, you see, and everyone that gets mad about the readings saying readers are just stringing us along. It's like, no, you're watching every single reading, including the ones that are clearly not meant for you, and getting mad because you think the divine masculine's doing this. No, you're doing this. The divine masculine, your divine masculine is right on their path. But you're going like this with the energy because you don't really know what's happening. You're just following whatever you can get. And then you're getting mad at other people because you can't keep up with that. So you guys have to do your very, very best to look at every situation, look at the energies that come, and understand what it actually means to you. Just because this divine masculine says it's time to make the offer, some of y'all know it has nothing to do with the twin flame journey. It just could be their personality. That, what if they're a Virgo? What if they're a Virgo? So now that they've decided it's time to make the offer, that means to them, their normal way of living life is they need to take the next 6 months to think about it. I'm just saying, you know, they're not all going to be a Sagittarius who says it's time to make the offer. Let's go then. You know what I mean? Everyone is different. Okay. So you guys have to be very cautious. You have to be very understanding, and you have to know your own divine masculine well enough to know what their actual move is going to be. Because the beautiful thing to me is this person knows you. This person sees who you are, and they remember you after what might have been some sort of weird amnesia. And now it's making so much sense to them. It's clicking. But that doesn't mean that they're just going to move because you've been waiting. It doesn't mean that they're just going to do what you want them to do in your time. It doesn't mean that divine says it's even time for them. And so I'm going to try not to say anymore, oh, I think union's around the corner for anybody. You know why? Because I think it's unhealthy for those who don't have the discernment. And I know a lot of people come to my channel and they're still learning, they're still growing. And so I believe that there is union close and around the corner for a lot of people, but I don't know who it's for, and I don't want anyone to feel like I'm trying to make them feel bad or string them along. So I see it, it's very, very clear, but I will let you discern what you see. I will let you discern if you believe that union is around the corner. I will let you discern where your divine masculine is on this track. Because what I see is beautiful, wonderful, focused energy. A divine masculine who is so ready, so different, already different, not changing, already changed. And it was inevitable. What was going to change was inevitable. It was going to happen. But I also know that there are divine feminines out there who need to recognize their own growth is still in play. They need to recognize that their divine masculines will come at perfect divine timing, and that a lot of them still need to let go of their plan. A lot of you have got to stop doing the whole, oh yeah, I see union for August. Stop giving yourself those stupid deadlines and timelines. Stop it. I think you need to do a little bit more research into manifestation and understanding how manifesting works. Manifesting for your own self, things, physical things, energies, all of that, completely possible, plausible, makes sense. But the moment that you start manifesting on behalf of someone else, you then need to make sure that you have 100% clear understanding, which is not possible, but you have to make sure you have 100% clear understanding of what they have been manifesting. Because if you give 150 manifestation points to your divine masculine coming into union, but they're giving 1 million manifestation points of never being in a relationship, who do you think's going to win? And you just wasted 150 points. Again, some of you are not going to understand that, but I needed to do a video that talks a little bit more about that, because someone has tricked a lot of y'all into thinking that if you just think hard enough about it, that you can make something happen outside of divine time. And that's just not true. So rather than trying to manifest on behalf of others, it's time to focus on yourself. It's time to focus on what you're doing. It's time to focus on being as prepared as possible for anything to happen, because there are things that you are going to try to manifest that are going to seem like they're taking forever, but it's just because you can't see things happening in the background. There are going to be things that you don't even think to manifest. You don't even try. And all of a sudden they seem to appear like that out of nowhere. You just have to allow. Stop forcing. Okay. Now, is there anything else I want to do? I want to read this. I don't know why I'm drawn back to this. Creativity. This card indicates a need to reconnect with your creative side to improve your quality of life and align yourself with source. By drawing this card, you're being encouraged to step out of your practical, logical mind and the seriousness of life in order to partake in lighthearted endeavors that are stimulating and fun. Playful creative expression is important because it raises your vibration, which brings you closer to your dreams. This is a time to immerse yourself in any creative endeavor that lifts your spirits and makes you feel good. It might take the form of playing a musical instrument, painting, writing, cooking, jewelry making, decorating, sewing, photography, landscaping, dancing, or designing. It doesn't matter what it is as long as it brings you joy. Through playful creative expression, I just heard recreation. You can heal disharmony in your body and disharmony in your life. Through playful creative expression, you can heal disharmony in your body and disharmony in your life. In order to improve your current situation, you're being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life, cycles that are encouraging you to express yourself creatively. It's now time to use your imagination and see the world through the eyes of a child. I'm seeing the Sun card. For in rediscovering the creativity of your youth, you will rediscover the magic in your life. Through playful creative expression, I make my dreams come true. Let me read the Sun and then we'll be done. Open to the Knight of Wands. Let's read this. Alrighty. This card indicates that it's a wonderful time for you. You're succeeding in ways you never dreamed possible. Endeavors that you begin now are blessed with abundance and success. Keep your thoughts positive and everything will turn out beautifully. This is also a time of brilliant new ideas and solutions. Have confidence in yourself. The work you've done personally and spiritually brings astonishing changes to your life. You're on the right path for your own enlightenment. Joy, public recognition, the attainment of great personal insights, vibrant physical and or emotional health. This angel Uriel helps with mental functioning, including focus and concentration. Call upon Uriel to spark new ideas and solutions, as well as to increase your confidence in your intelligence and wisdom. These divine masculines, they're forever changed, you guys. And as they continue healing, they're going to start to see that they have more to offer this world than they ever knew. As they release this old cycle and this old situation and walk away from the karma that they thought they had to deal with, that there was no forgiveness, that there was no love strong enough, that there was nothing that could stop that karmic cycle, something happened. Something shifted, and now they know that they have more information, that they were missing things, that they were looking at things from the wrong perspective. And as they start to see the beauty in the situation and the positive in the situation, they're realizing, oh my goodness, focusing on abundance and the good things in life, that is going to change my life forever. By looking at a new opportunity that's ahead of me, rather than constantly being bitter about what could have been and what wasn't and what should have happened, but by looking forward and saying, let me just give the best I've got, I'm going to find things out about myself that are going to change me forever. By believing that I don't have to be perfect, I just have to be love, I just have to try, I just have to allow myself to be awakened. In doing that, it's going to help me to cultivate new things and to be a part of a relationship with someone who has so much to offer me just by existing. Sometimes they look at us and they think that they don't want to put us through more pain and more hurt, not realizing that as long as we keep this untapped, what is that? Not untapped. Is that the right way? No, I don't know. But this unending source of love that is us as divine feminines, there's nothing that hurts us. There's nothing that stops us. It's an unending supply. And now they see us and they remember why they first ever saw us. Some of them knew they didn't want relationships, knew they weren't looking for anything, special or particular, knew that blah, 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 had this plan in motion, and they still could not stay away from us when they met us, and they still cannot stay away from us now. Even in no separation, contact, or no communication, separation, all that, they are miserable because as much as they want to pretend you don't exist, they can't stop thinking about you. And now it makes sense why. And now they're ready. But remember, the Knight of Cups is one of the slower nights. The Knight of Pentacles, a slower night. Don't rush this. Don't get excited just because all of a sudden you say, oh, they're ready, they're different. I can sense it. They have been changed. They've been reaching out. I feel this is real. Don't press them, because all you're going to do is scare them back into their hole. Let them explore. Let them, just like you had a chance to explore before you ever knew about twin flames. Let them have that chance too. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Oh, almost. It's been a while. Welcome. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. I am an intuitive life strategist here on YouTube. I offer my expertise as a prophetess, priestess, but also as an MBA, as a psychologist. I have a lot of different, jack of all trades kind of skills and traits, and I use all of those things to help you guys out the best that I can. If you want to connect with me, here are my social media pages. I'm struggling. I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, here it is. My bad. Guidance by Grace, The Fire Grace, My Expertise, and Handmade Hope for the Homeless are my Facebook pages. The more involvement I get with those, the more I'll do with them. Guidance by Grace is my Instagram. Same there. I'll start doing Instagram Live once I hit 1,000 Instagram followers. But for now, everything is centered on YouTube because that's where the most people are. And I like to make sure that the efforts that I make reach the most number of people. So keep that in mind. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia, make sure if I don't have your email already that you email me so I can send you something. I do offer long-term coaching. I also offer handmade runes. So if you're interested in getting your own tailored rune set, it supports my homeless ministry, which right now has turned into a random acts of kindness ministry until the pandemic begins to fade again. So if you're interested in supporting that, that is what those funds go to. But most people take advantage of my phone sessions, YouTube readings, and live recordings, or recorded readings and then live YouTube sessions, whatever. The point is you can talk to me live. You can get a pre-recorded video. You can get a reading like this. This is a Divine Masculine Insights reading. All of that stuff is available on my website. So just check out thefierygrace.com. I have a sale right now on some of the more expensive readings. like the contract. A lot of people have been interested in getting their contracts, the twin flame discovery sessions, learning more about the, personality, the different traits about your actual divine counterpart to see if you can either confirm and affirm who you think it is or learn more about who they are if you know who they are. If you're interested, I also offer all kinds of things like personalized love letters. And like I said, this is a divine masculine insights reading. There's all kinds of stuff. Just check out my website. And if you have any questions about booking, you can always email me, thefierygrace@gmail.com. You'll get an auto reply back if you email me directly. If you go through the contact me section of the Fiery Grace on my website, if you go to contact me, you'll see I even say in there, it's better to email me because this goes to, I cannot get this to go to my main folder. And so I only go through this about once or twice a week to answer those queries. But if you go here, you'll get the auto reply and I'll most likely see it to be able to send you a message more quickly. Okay. I accept PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. Please don't forget, Mr. Lightwork is also one of my, whatchamacallit? Mr. Lightwork is, I'm sorry, I have to put this person out of my channel. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Sorry, guys, I've been trying to moderate this reading. I'm not doing a very good job. Oh, thank you, Lydia. I appreciate you. Oh, you guys, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I have channel memberships. So if you are interested in supporting me like you would if you support like a Patreon, YouTube actually does the same thing. And so I've been offered channel memberships. I thought I was supposed to wait till I had 30,000 subscribers, but I guess because of the way my channel is and the way we interact so well as a community, YouTube has actually offered me channel memberships early. And so I will be rolling those out over the next couple of weeks. You'll get to learn more information about how to support the channel and get more perks and really cool stuff. So just be on the lookout for that. And it comes with, I made these emojis and stickers and all this really cool stuff so that if you're a member, you can like do it in the chat. I'll explain it later, but that sticker from Lydia just reminded me of it. So all of that being said to say, I appreciate you. I love you. If you want to work with me, I am available. I'm open. The last couple months have been extremely busy because of what was going on. A lot of people were panicking. A lot of people had a lot of crisis in their life, but I finally got the booking list back down to something manageable. And probably in the next couple of days, I'll be down to where I'm not stressed out anymore about it. Oh, that's what I was going to say is Mr. Lightwork has his own channel, My Divine Masculine. So you can look his channel up. A lot of you already know that, but he also does super chats now, and he's going to start doing something. I think he's calling it Tea Time, where he's going to let you guys do call-ins. So if you're interested, oh, thank you, Katie. Please, Katie, send me, if I'm saying it right, send me an email, thefierygrace@gmail.com. I want to send you something. But if you guys are interested in talking to Mr. Lightwork, he's going to do like a super chat radio show kind of thing, as well as start doing super chats on his channel. So if you want to talk to a divine masculine and really get those insights on a deeper level, but you can't necessarily either like afford one of his sessions with him, or you just would like to do it as a part of Super Chat because that's your thing. Just keep that in mind. That's something that he's going to start doing. And then we'll be going live again over the next few weeks. So be on the lookout for that. So I just wanted to let you guys know, kind of keep you up and bring you up to date and up to speed on everything. But I think that's it. All right, I'm going to go because this was really long. I love you. I love you. I love you. I hope that whoever needed this message got it. It's Mr. Lightwork. If you just look up Mr. Lightwork, but if you go to my channel and you go to the subscriptions or the featured channels, you'll see that on his things, or you'll see his channel and be able to click it and go to his page. So I'm about to get to do some readings before he gets up, and we might be on later. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Send me, I have your email, I think. I believe I have your email, but if I don't, email me. You guys, sometimes I forget. Also, I just found out how so many people can have the same name, and it's so crazy. But anyways, okay, I have to tell you guys something really weird. The other day, when I was thinking about, long story short, I, for some reason, had to look up my Divine Masculine's baby mama. I had to look her up, and because of something I was trying to get accomplished. And someone had her exact same name that lived in Georgia, and I clicked it like, that's weird. And that person was married to someone with the exact same name as my Divine Masculine, well, first name. And I was like, that's weird. But anyways, So sometimes when I see the same names, I'm learning more and more having this ministry that there are people out there who literally have the exact same name, like first, middle, and last. It's really weird. And then there's weirder stuff. All right. Anyways, I'm out of here for real. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.